Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Way of explaining it. Did I pick this movie because it happens to be the week of 420?
Huh. Who would buy a bong that is specifically advertised as being possessed?
And were we high when we watched this movie?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And this week, well, hold on, let me answer these questions quickly. Actually, no, it just worked out that way. I mean, I would, and I plead the 5th, or the 8th, whatever. Anyway, this week, in our series of 4 movies with horrible sounding names, or unfortunately named horror movies, however we're wording it.
Yeah.
I think I've worded it different every week, so, you know.
Movies with dumb names.
Basically is what it boils down to.
Like,
and this one is
The Bed That
Evil.
Eats, right.
Yeah, well, this one's Evil Bong. And there are 9 movies in this I almost said trilogy, which I realized was wrong and
Yes,
stopped
there's 9
myself.
movies in this trilogy.
Yes. It's a triple trilogy
Yes.
so far.
It's a trilogy.
Anywho, the basic premise goes something like this. Pot
And an evil bong.
and death. Pot and death.
Pot and death.
A nerd basically moves into a new apartment or whatever with 2 stoners, one that's a bodybuilder, one that's just a stoner and like video game player, and he doesn't smoke, but he doesn't care that they do. And one of them orders a bong that is advertised as being possessed by a demon, and when it shows up, he smokes, and it begins killing those who smoke out of it. And
Because that...
why
yeah,
not?
I mean...
That's basically the premise. It's like, and then they have to figure out how to stop the bong from the murder.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
And there's going to be spoilers because
It would be
my
hard
least
not
favorite
to.
thing
Yep.
is a big spoiler.
No.
But anyway, why don't we show the trailer so you guys can get a picture of what we're talking about?
In a flophouse, 3 stoners are looking for the ultimate high.
Large bong for sale. Recently deceased owner claims it was possessed. Because if there's one thing this pad is lacking, it's a killer fucking bong, man.
What they found is something sinister.
It's the item you've been waiting for. Does my bong look different?
It's the bong, man. It's evil. One hit, and she gives you your dreams.
Do you know where we are?
But in this world, you get high, you die.
I come to take you out, bitch.
Only one thing is for certain. She'll give you the munchies. This summer, let's get baked. scary trip.
Monkey.
All right.
I mean,
that showed some
it
interesting
showed-
things for a trailer. That's all I can say. But this movie seems,
that's a solid trailer.
it is. And it didn't really spoil anything. It was just like, here's what you're in for.
Here's just jump cuts with a bunch of things you'll see. All right.
Pretty much. But before we get into the behind the scenes, information, we have to do what we always do week after week.
Sell out.
Yeah, we're going to sell out. That's exactly what we're going to do. See, most people that do shows here, it's because they love to, get information out, or they have
Right.
something to say about important things.
Or they
Not
care
me.
about the
I'm a
the
capitalist. I'm a straight up
community,
capitalist.
right.
I want big stacks of cash. And the way that we do that is by basically,
Pimping ourselves out to big corporations
yeah,
every week.
big corporations. For example, this week, these are all real things that
Actually exist that
by
you
the
can
way.
actually find at places and stores and things.
This week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Pot Thoughts, the app for your smartphone that records your conversations while you're high. Every stoner knows that feeling of coming up with a great idea while baked out of your mind, but finding yourself unable to recall anything about it the next day when your head is clear. Simply start the Pot Thoughts app before sparking up, and it keeps track of all those ideas for you. Using its advanced technology, Pot Thoughts even cuts out the long spaces where you're not speaking, and it transcribes every comprehensible word into an easy-to-read format. So don't lose that $1 million idea just because you got distracted by snacks or something shiny. Use Pot Thoughts today.
Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that be handy? And by Killer Weed, the pot shop for horror fans. All of our strains are the strongest available and named after the best horror movies and characters. Just a few of our offerings include I Know What You Smoked Last Summer, Camp Crystal Bake, Bloody Mary Jane, and the popular Night of the Living Deadheads. All these and more are available today, and don't forget our sister store Skywalkers, the paraphernalia for store for nerds. So get your scare on and get your smoke on with Killer Weed.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah,
And that, my friends, is how we stay rich.
that's how we pay the bills.
Anyway, anything you want to say about the movie before we get into the...
I mean, yet again, it's on Tubi, so
yes. So
if you have internet, I'd recommend watching it before we spoil it for
they
you.
do put in trailers, not trailers, commercials or whatever.
They have ads, but it's completely free.
And Tubi does a good job of trying to put it in between scenes. It doesn't just cut in the middle of a sentence like YouTube or whatever. So, and if realize any of these movies by full moon or whatever,
Yeah, a bunch of those are on Tubi too. But
and they basically, have the same camp value. Not all.
yeah,
You go back far enough, you got Demonic Toys and you got Puppet Master
Master.
and stuff like that. But for the most part, they got a low budget, campy, not great acting, not a lot of takes, you can tell, kind of stuff going on.
yeah. So like,
but if
if
you-
you liked the Ginger Dead Man, or you like things like the Toxic Avenger, then
This is that type
for
of
you.
thing.
This is certainly for you.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not high art, but it is
high art.
something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, go and watch this before we,
Spoil it. All right. And like last week, there wasn't a lot of information out there.
Turns out when you're a small unknown company,
They're not unknown to people that love horror, though. They have their own streaming service, for Pete's sake.
okay, but who doesn't at this point?
Yeah,
It's only a
but
matter
it's
of time till
specifically
Uber
this movie
has
company.
streaming
Yeah, but
service.
this
so,
movie company has their own streaming service. Anyway, not really the point. Why don't you go first with some behind the scenes?
all right. The clock at the Stoner's dorm always reads 4:20.
The soundtrack features and supports music from recognized underground artists.
Ah, yes. Several characters from other Full Moon Pictures appear in this film, while in Bong World.
Yes.
Visitors include Ooga Booga, Ginger Dead Man, Jack Death from Trancers, and Jack Attack from Demonic Toys.
True. As of 2017, Sonny Carl Davis is the only actor to appear in 6 Evil Bong movies, 7 if you include Gingerbread Man versus Evil Bong from 2013.
That's the Ginger Dead Man?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I said it wrong. I did that last week, too.
Last known work of cinematographer Mac Ahlberg.
When they first smoked the bong, they forgot to fill it with water first. That was a mistake.
Yeah, I noticed that.
We did both notice that.
When Larnell is playing Super Mario World, the arcade music used is clearly not from Super Mario.
And it's weird because they showed images that were. They showed a
He
Super
was
Nintendo.
using the Nintendo.
It was a Super Nintendo. It was a Super Nintendo
Like
controller.
he was playing that game.
Yeah, and they just dubbed in new music, which is weird. Maybe different
that's
rights
enough
holders.
to not
Well,
pay. Or,
I don't know.
You know, whatever.
Anyway, true to his comedy image, Tommy Chong, who's in this movie, and his family ran Nice Dreams Enterprises, an internet company that sold bongs and pipes. He was arrested in 2003 on federal drug paraphernalia charges and sentenced in September of that year. He spent 9 months in jail and paid around $120,000 in fines. And I know this is a little side thing. They wanted to nail him because him and Cheech had been so pro-pot for so long. They were looking for a way to take him down. And basically, they trumped up charges against his son to get hit. And they said, we'll drop the charges on him if you
plead guilty.
plead guilty.
That's so messed up. Tommy Chong was the only person of the 55 arrested during the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration's Operation Pipe Dreams to serve time in prison. Oh, that's so wrong.
Yeah,
They made an example of him because he was famous.
Famous for being pro-pot. And it's silly now looking back if you think about how many states have either legalized medical, legalized recreational, or legalized, or decriminalized even.
Decriminalized.
I mean, we're getting to where it's almost 50% of the country is like, whatever.
Right.
Some of the artists that are on the soundtrack include the Cottonmouth Kings, Insane Clown Posse, Sendog of Cypress Hill, Twisted, Potluck, and more. Most of the songs on the soundtrack, shocking, were weed related.
What?
I know.
Whoa.
Well, there was 2 songs by Cottonmouth Kings. One was weed related and the other one was sexual. And it was during
I think that simply from being the Cottonmouth Kings.
But the song wasn't weed related.
Well, I feel like that might be.
They do songs that aren't just about that.
Oh yeah.
Cypress Hill has non-weed songs too. It's just those aren't usually their biggest party jams.
Right.
Also, a little bonus thing that I happen to know because I saw an ad for it on my phone today when I was going through Facebook. They have a box set of all 9 films that involve the Evil Bong.
Yeah.
Including one called Ouija Board.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And the Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong. It's got all of them. What was it? The second one was called King Bong. Then the third one was called The Wrath of Bong.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh.
According to
4 was Reefer Madness then?
It was Evil Bong 420, Reefer Madness.
Okay.
And then 5 was, I can't remember what it was called, but then there was 666, 777, and Ouija Board.
Ouija Board and Ginger Dead Man versus.
Yeah, which was before the 4th one. The people have recognized this as being a 38% movie.
Yeah, and the critics on Rotten Tomatoes followed the trend from the last 2 weeks and just didn't watch it.
Or at least didn't waste their time reviewing it.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe some saw it and went, okay, with what this is, it's not fair to judge it against, good cinema because it's not intending itself to be.
Right. Like, don't rate this like you would The Shining.
And we had been talking about possibly next week, since we did Ginger Dead Man and did Evil Bong, next week doing Evil Bong versus Ginger Dead Man. But I'm thinking we can always revisit this in the future and come back and do 4 more full moon movies specific.
Yeah.
Because they are a genre to themselves.
They really
and
are.
it's not what I was originally intending when I picked this topic. The topic of bad named
horror movies.
I mean, think of the first one we did, for those who
Deathbed,
didn't
the bed
mention-
that eats. That
Yeah.
sounds really stupid.
And it was.
Right.
But it was still fun. It was. But anyway, so I'm not sure what next week will be, but it's actually not going to be the crossover event of the century.
Yeah, that.
Because that's what that movie is.
Completely.
Godzilla versus Kong? No.
Batman versus Superman?
Ginger
Get
Dead
out of
versus
here.
Bong.
Exactly.
But anyway, what was your favorite scene in this movie? Or do you want to go least favorite?
We can go least favorite first because
All right.
that one's more obvious to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with, and I'm guessing, all right, but I think it's the character Ooga Booga, all right, was violently masturbating in this
That
movie.
was him.
And you kind of saw a little bit in the trailer, but it's like it spends like 2
With his
minutes.
eyes just wide.
It spends like 2 minutes going between
Shots
him jerking off violently and a murder happening.
A murder where boobs are eating a fella.
Yeah. So it's like
You saw a little bit of that in the trailer too.
Yeah. But it was like a solid 2 minutes of this Ooga Booga character just going for it, looking at you all creepy like, and it's like, okay, I got it at first. You didn't have to keep showing me.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, my least favorite thing has to be, and it's spoiler, so please watch this movie if you're going to before you listen to this part. But all right, 3, 2, 1. Now you've had time, and if you hear it, it's too bad.
Have you clicked away?
Yeah.
No? Haha.
100% the ending irritated the crap out of me. Every single person that had died was
Just came
no
back.
longer dead, except for Tommy Chong, who purposely entered the bong world by smoking out of the bong and then being sucked in. Like, that's how it kills you. It sucks in your soul, which that part was cool enough
That was
looking or
cool,
whatever.
right.
And then, for some reason, inside the bong world was a strip club, because of course it was.
Yep.
And when Tommy Chong went in it to destroy the bong from within, it ended where he was the only one that was dead, but he was still in bong world. So who knows? He could be revived.
I guess.
But every single person that was killed stopped being dead at the end of the movie. And that just bums me out. I'm like, come on. You have a horror movie. People die.
Right.
I
and-
hope that's not a trend that goes through all of them, because
And
I'm
Tommy
planning on
Chong
watching more.
Tommy Chong didn't even show up until it was almost over.
Yeah.
And then they just
But they advertised the crap out of it with him because he's a
because
name.
he's Tommy Chong. It's
Right,
like
absolutely.
Yeah. What's my favorite scene? I guess I'm gonna have to go with the first time that they smoke from the bong, and it's like they're freaking out because it got a face.
And
It started to have a face after they smoked it the first time, and the guy died. And they were like,
And
"Oh,
it also
he
got
died."
bigger,
And
remember?
it got bigger, and it had a face. And I thought that them freaking out about the face was pretty funny.
I agree. But my favorite part, I'm going to say, was honestly the fact that they had boobs eat people. It was hilarious. It was really bad special effects. It was done in multiple scenes because, like,
Yeah, it was.
boobs ate people every time they went in.
Yeah, every time somebody went into that weird Bong World strip club, somebody was being
Going to be eaten by breasts.
or,
I mean, what a way to go.
I mean, I guess, but they were sharks. So
Yeah.
at least once
it
they
is
were
weird.
sharks.
It is weird to have shark boobs, but
I mean, the boobs were different things eating you each time.
anyway, I just thought that was funny. I don't know. I can't say it's my favorite based on it has anything to do with the plot, quote unquote, as much as there was one. Like,
I mean,
what
the
do
plot is
shark
there's an evil
boobs
Bong.
have anything whatsoever? Shark mouth boobs, I'll put it that way.
Shark mouth boobs.
What did they have to do with a bong other than you had to have been super high to come up with it?
I bet that's what happened.
Probably.
They were
And
all sitting
I
around
laughed that
saying-
they had sequels to this, but they have 9. Obviously, they're making money. If they weren't, they wouldn't keep making them.
I guess that's true.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
So we both said our least and our most favorite. So what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? And again, because these are intentionally cornball and whatnot, we can't rate them the same way we would something that was meant to be serious.
Yeah.
The way we've been doing it is
How much fun did we have watching this movie? I'm gonna have to go 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet you right there. 8.
This movie
you know,
was a
if you
lot
are-
of fun. A lot of fun.
If you are one who has been known to partake, it may increase your enjoyment of this movie. But I would have enjoyed this sober or non-sober. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is just a lot of fun.
It really is.
If you enjoy the really bad, purposely bad things, like we were saying earlier with Toxie and like
Killer Tomatoes,
Tromeo and Juliet,
Ginger Dead Man.
This, not the deathbed movie, because that was not.
Yeah, that wasn't
this.
fun like this. This is Sharknado-esque.
Yeah, this is kind of like
But-
Sharknado, but way better.
But if it was made for a service that didn't have to edit for content.
Yeah, basically. So if you like all of that weird stuff,
This is definitely a good movie to watch.
this is right up your alley, and it's all on Tubi, so go ahead.
And we're not getting paid from Tubi, trust me.
We're not, but I mean, they're just getting paid from their ads.
But why don't we...
On that side of the screen, it's all those things I say at the end of the episode. You could watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Friday at 7 p.m. Yeah.
And you can like us on Facebook. And like I like to say every week, I don't just mean us. I mean, you can talk to us
whatever.
on... You know, I've had people become friends of mine on here because I do a show on here. You know, on
It's
Facebook.
like whatever.
But we also have
your boat,
our
but-
Gory Story Time, and there's also the Facebook page for Fact TV, in which they do live stream a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
including
if you're
this. So if
currently
you're watching,
this,
hey. But
Yeah, you can go to factdate.com,
Yep.
watch a bunch of the back episodes of this, watch a bunch of episodes of other shows that we've done, other shows that other people do. They've got everything up there that they do.
I know it's not up there, but I like to bring up, I also have a YouTube channel. If you look up Gory Story Time, you'll find it a lot of times, but it's Juggalo Jakes is the name of the page or the channel. It's got music videos, episodes of this, episodes of other shows I did, like Daddy Issues, episodes of another show that we do here that's more explicit and, you know, talks about current events a lot more. But that's about all I can say about that. So
Yeah.
then we got our
Twitters. You can follow me at Jiggly Firm Brain.
which is him just tweeting quotes of things that I said, because he
Completely unfiltered.
found things that I would say in conversation to be humorous, and a lot of times without any context, he likes to tweet them, and he won't follow you back on that, because he literally, the joke is he only follows me.
Yeah, in case he tweets something worth,
Yeah. And I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
So we can both follow him.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and find yourself a way to watch these movies, if that's the kind of thing that floats your boat. And I mean, if it's not, then
We highly recommend it.
yes, that. Until next time, I'm your host Jason,
I'm his co-host and father, Craig,
and sweet dreams.